Honestly, whenever I was scared as a kid, my dad always told me something that stuck with me. Don't be scared of ghosts. Fear the living, they're the ones who can actually hurt you. In my late teenage years, I came into some money after my father committed suicide, and I received an inheritance from him. At the time of his passing, my parents owned a cabin up in Oregon near Mount Bachelor. The cabin had been put up for sale because my mom could no longer afford the payments, and renting it out wasn't covering the costs either. It was scheduled to go on the market in less than a month, and paperwork with the realtor and lawyer was being finalized. So for that month, the cabin wasn't being rented, it was just sitting empty. I saw it as a chance to get away and clear my head after everything that had happened. I quit work, packed my snowboarding gear, grabbed my dog Midnight, and drove up there in my dad's car. The first 2 days were normal. Nothing strange. I spent my time playing with Midnight in the snow, snowboarding, and in the evenings playing PlayStation, listening to music, drinking, and smoking out on the balcony. I had stocked up on food, cigarettes, and liquor, so I didn't need to go anywhere. With my dog, games, and DVDs, I was actually starting to relax. The cabin had 2 stories. Downstairs was the living room, a small kitchen, and a guest bedroom. Upstairs had 2 more rooms and a balcony connected to the master bedroom, which is where I stayed. I never went into the other rooms and kept their doors shut. On the 3rd day, heavy snow was falling, so I stayed in. That's when things got weird. There were only 2 other cabins near ours, maybe a block away. All the other cabins were about a mile out, and everything around us was forest and tall pine trees. I knew the nearby cabins were empty. Around midday, while outside with Midnight, I noticed footprints in the snow around the cabin. It was still snowing, so they looked fresh, like someone had been there within the last 20 or 30 minutes.
Son, I'm here.
I figured maybe someone was staying in one of the other cabins and I just didn't know. The prints led away from my place into denser trees. I shrugged it off and went back inside. That night, I went to bed. Midnight was lying with me when suddenly his ears perked up. He jumped off the bed and ran downstairs. I stayed still, listening, heart pounding. I could hear him moving around down there. After about 5 minutes, he came back upstairs and did his "I need to go out" dance. So we went outside. But he didn't pee. Instead, he pulled hard on the leash, trying to drag me toward the trees where the footprints had been. He kept sniffing the side of the house and looking up toward the roof. When I wouldn't go where he wanted, he sat down and stared into the darkness. I took him back inside. About 30 minutes later, lying in bed, I heard what sounded like hooves walking across the roof. Just 6 steps, but spaced apart like a man's stride. That freaked me out. Midnight heard it too and ran to the balcony door. I told myself I could handle it. I grabbed my coat, shoes, flashlight, and cigarettes, and stepped onto the balcony. I scanned the roof with my light, nothing. The snow up there was undisturbed. I calmed down a bit, smoked, and stared at the stars. Then I saw it. In a tree about 20 feet from the balcony, a little taller than the cabin, I saw what looked like a man crouched between branches. It looked too tall, maybe 8 or 9 feet, and extremely skinny. It was squatting on one branch, with long pale arms stretched above its head, gripping a higher branch. Its mouth was wide open, no expression. Just staring. I froze. Midnight stood behind me, lightly barking. The thing didn't move. I thought about shining the flashlight on it, but something in my head screamed not to. I slowly backed into the room, pulled Midnight in, locked the door, then shined the light out. Nothing was there. I shut the curtains and got back into bed. Later, I heard tapping at the balcony door. Light, finger-like taps. It went on for nearly an hour. Midnight stared at the door but wouldn't go near it. I had this strong feeling like something wanted me to open that door. But at the same time, I kept hearing my dad's voice in my head telling me not to. I stayed in bed. Eventually, I passed out. In the morning, I packed everything and got the hell out of there.